Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight is not only did Harris come out with her executive actions and sneaking in some more advice and suggestions for safe storage laws for the states, the DOJ quietly went ahead and put it into place. This you're going to want to see, and also how we're standing up to fight against this, because the lines are already being drawn. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear from you guys on this one. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And the content today is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. And brothers and sisters, with everything popping off around the world, wars cracking off, we've got inflation issues, we've got stock market volatility, we have cash concerns, we have oil concerns. It's a good time to take a look and at least know your options with American Hartford Gold. They are dedicated to offering gold, silver, platinum, coins, and bars for your investing needs. Whether you want to do it delivered to your door or you want an IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, TSP, they've got options. This is something you guys should check out. At American Hartford Gold, they aim to educate clients about investments in the precious metal industry, strive to provide unparalleled customer service built on trust, integrity, and absolute transparency, while holding a goal of achieving 100% customer satisfaction. Click the link in the description or call 844-727-3199. That's 844-727-3199, or text Langley to 65532. Again, that's 844-727-3199, or text Langley to 65532. All right, my brothers and sisters, we've got to dive in because, like I said, it turns out that they were primed and ready over there at the DOJ right after Harris announced her new initiative, the Safer States Initiative, which they did on Wednesday, I believe was the day. Yeah, the DOJ was right back there to file all the paperwork to put the bribery in place. Listen to this, because the battle lines are being drawn and we have got some work to do, so make sure that subscription button is active. Check it. Biden's DOJ gun law blueprint will impact ability to defend yourself, gun rights groups say. Gun Owners of America says they will fight the legislation should the states adopt it. Now that's the important piece. We are in the posturing stage, flat out. The DOJ and the leftist and the White House administration, they're posturing that they're going to get these things across all these different states. The big irony is all the blue states already have a lot of these things, so it's going to be interesting which ones actually adopt it. And then the red states, they're not going to adopt this as easily. So it's going to be an interesting thing. But GOA, the NRA, and all the other gun rights groups are on the other side saying, bring it. Come on, let's do this. Let's break this fight from 1 down to 50. I'll be your huckleberry. That's essentially what we're about to cover. Check this out. Gun rights groups are posturing to defy the Justice Department's model legislation published this week that gives states a framework for codifying gun storage rules. Now, this is the other piece of what they do. Earlier this year, they put in place guidelines and suggestions and potential funding through the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to do red flag laws in different states and provide funding for that. Well, now they want to put out model legislation from the DOJ for other states to adopt. It's basically handing the gun control states a model on how to basically violate the Constitution. That's what they're doing, but we're lining up against it. We're going to keep going. On Wednesday, the DOJ published a framework aimed at helping more states enact sensible gun safety laws, and includes requirements for securing firearms kept in residences and vehicles, and requirements for reporting lost or stolen firearms to the law enforcement. Now, here's the thing about that. None of this is possible without a registry. There is no way to enforce anything that we're talking about, whether it's Ethan's Law or Safe Storage Law or whatever the new flavor of the week of infringement is. There's no way to do this without some sort of centralized database and registration. It is simply not possible. You can't. How would you know where everything is in order to enforce all the legislation that you're putting forward? How do you know that something's being stored safely in this hypothetical if you don't even know where the guns are? It's physically not possible, which is probably why you saw witnesses in a Senate committee hearing 2 weeks ago talk about legislation is one thing, but it has to be paired with enforcement. Again, they will always tell you what they are, who they are, and how they plan to do it. Let's continue. That's why we pay attention to the details. This is from the NRA. The NRA is a leader and the strongest advocate for responsible storage of firearms, one of the Institute for Legislative Action members said. Bremen added the model legislation irresponsibly and ill-advisedly imposes top-down, one-size-fits-all mandates on how Americans should store their guns. Guns must be stored so they're not accessible to unauthorized persons, but the specifics That word messed up. The specifics depended on individual or family circumstance, said Bremen. That's the whole point. Every single thing is different, which is why unilaterally, top-down, centralized control will not work. That's why it has failed through socialism across the board. Centralized, homogenized, standardized operation will not work in compatibility with freedom. It simply will not. It's not possible. You have a loose framework, you stay within that loose framework, and you have pros and cons and wiggle room both ways. You cannot do these laws apply to everyone because bad people, unintentional catch, will get caught with the bad people. That's exactly what you're going to see. Let's continue. Bremen also charged that the DOJ is using this as an opportunity to push extreme risk protection orders, which she called a sugar-coated term for gun confiscation without due process. She is correct. That's the NRA. Now let's jump over to the GOA and how they're going to come at it. Because, again, everyone's drawing the battle lines here. We're going to have a lot more fights coming in the near future. Trust me. Chris Stone, Director of State and Local Affairs for Gun Owners of America, accused the DOJ of, quote, wasting time and resources trying to coerce state lawmakers across the country to pass unconstitutional firearm storage requirements, just like they've tried with gun confiscation laws. That's what I was alluding to earlier with the red flag laws. At the end of the day, these laws undermine the ability of law-abiding citizens to have reliable access to firearms in home defense scenarios and violate the privacy and private property rights of American citizens. Here it is right here. GOA said it will fully oppose the legislation, quote, in every state capital and will aggressively push back with our grassroots army if any lawmakers take the bait. That could not be more clear. And we're going to do the same thing and mirror it on the YouTube side of things. If anyone takes the bait, if lawmakers do this, we will be the first ones there to cover it, to expose it, partner with GOA, throw this out there, organize everything against them in their campaigns, against their entire careers. This is not going to continue. We are starting the fight, and it's about to be very well orchestrated. This is going to be painful if you continue down this road. So don't take the bait, lawmakers. I'm telling you, don't do it. Anyway, let's continue. And we're talking painful politically, by the way, if anyone wants to twist those words. We're talking about losing of votes, losing of position, losing of legislatures. The proposed model would require the possessor of a firearm should, at all times, the firearm is not carried by the owner on the person or within such proximity that the possessor can readily retrieve and use the firearm, secure the firearm in a locked gun safe, or with a properly engaged tamper-resistant mechanical lock or other tamper-resistant safety device, rendering the firearm inoperable. The legislation would impose fines if a gun owner is caught in violation. Of course it would. The only way you're going to get compliance is through the brunt force of penalization. But it's not about penalizing anybody. It's just about ensuring compliance for the safety of the children. Or it's about penalizing everybody until they comply to your infringements. We will not. It's that simple. You are infringing upon the Second Amendment rights of which people have died for. There are people in this country buried, spilled their blood. People have cried for them. People have shed their tears for them, for our freedoms. And you think that sending out a little document, how-to, on how to infringe the Second Amendment is going to make us go, okay, fine, you got us. No. We will be right here watching, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I hope you have a great Friday night, and I will see you tomorrow because freedom never rests. I'm Braden. See you later.